Good morning, everybody out there in Twitch TV land, and welcome to our weekly community catch-up. My name is Andy Belford, a.k.a. Will, and I'm the community manager here at Waystone Games. And joining me today is...
Dan Gibson, Dibs, the lead shaper designer of Waystone Games.
Well, shouldn't we go by your full name?
Daniel Allen Gibson Dibs, which is, and then you say, I don't call you Daniel.
I was just going to say Dibs Glibman, actually. I was going to switch it up.
My Sims persona.
Dibs Glibman, exactly. Yeah. So anyways, guys, welcome to the stream. This is actually a very special stream because today we're going to talk about everything that happened on Game of Thrones last night and dissect it line by line by line, right?
Yes,
that's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for. This is a 2 hour long Game of Thrones podcast.
Exactly. I think that works.
All right, let's do it.
All right, it was very exciting. I actually didn't get to watch it last night. So
I watched it. It was delightful.
I heard it was very good.
It was good.
But let's not spoil Game of Thrones for me.
No, let's not do that.
Anyways, all right, man. So we've got a lot of stuff to cover today.
This is the super stream.
It is a super stream. We're talking about a new shaper.
We are.
We're talking about new content. We're talking about a very cool announcement about PAX East at the end.
Yes.
So we got a lot of stuff to cover.
We have a ton of stuff, actually.
So without further ado, we should probably just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
So a couple of months ago, we had this wonderful kind of coming together of the entire team where we sat down and we talked about lore. And it was led by the one and only Hunter Hal, Zalkus, and of course Dandelion, Chris Latois. And we had a great time, I think. I think a lot of really cool things came out of there.
Yeah, this was super fun.
Yeah. One thing that came out of there was that the ward skin, some of the ward skins that we did for the different regions that we've released into the game. I was really happy to see the Meridian one in there, like almost exactly like we sketched it out.
Oh, yeah, right. The little group activity that we had.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But some other things that came out of there was something we're going to talk about right now, which is actually this next shaper we're going to talk about.
Right. So we kind of had this meeting because people might be like, well, why do you need to explain like lore to the team? We used to live in kind of like this. There was this dark age before before Chris Latois, Waystone Dandelion joined the team, where it was primarily Hunter writing the lore, and Hunter's a good writer, but he's also the creative director of the game. He has to be doing, his attention is split in all these different places. And we had lots of things like character backgrounds and the way that characters are meshing, things like Cerulean and Amaranth, they were designed to be together in what they are, but like the overall encompassing lore was not there. So this meeting was like, once Waystone Dandelion came in and kind of solidified that lore and kind of made it what it is today, the whole Dawngate, it was kind of like bringing that forth to the team since he had, just like tomes and tomes of writing that he'd been doing and not everyone had read. So one of the things that we wanted to do was kind of get everyone on board with the lore, so everything that they were doing could be inspired by and kind of informed by the lore. Particularly things like our concept artists, right? If we tell them, this character's from the South, they already knew kind of instinctively what that meant because at that point we'd done Renzo or we'd done Zeri, so they kind of understood, okay, they're the artist culture and they kind of like live in like a desert area. And this is the way that they dress, this is the way that they act. But one of the things that it did was once the kind of meeting was over, it was only like a week or two after that, Kindra came to us, one of our concept artists. She did Kindra and Zalgus and Mara and Viana and so on. She came to us and she said, I've got shaper ideas that I've kind of done on my own time. I've drawn up these concepts, but in addition to concepts, I have where might they come from in the world? What are their stories? What might their abilities be? So this is kind of in a more informed concept process where she's like, oh, I've been thinking about this lore and like I know exactly how they'd fit into this culture now that I've heard the whole spiel and I've like, and I can see the world as a whole. So she brought us a set of 4 concepts that were all extremely delightful. And each one had that kind of little background, a little thing about who they were. And one of them stood out to us more than almost all the other ones, and that was the character Ashabel. If you guys read the lore yesterday, her name is Ashabel. We immediately were like, that's awesome. Boom, like that's a shaper. This is kind of like the easiest thing to do as my job, because a lot of times we'll be like, when we're making a new concept for a character, we'll have an idea of what the archetype of what that character should be. Not the gameplay archetype, but what is their like visual role in the game. So we might get together and say, we need a knight character. We need like our knight in shining armor kind of guy. And we're like, that's kind of overdone though. Like, and then the artist will get into a room for several days and they'll be like, maybe this guy who grows coral out of his, body instead of armor. And we're like, oh yeah, seems delightful. But it's a longer process. But if Kindra comes to us and she has a concept that she's super excited about and it's already super awesome because Kindra drew it, we're just like, boom.
Yeah,
Put it
absolutely.
put it in the game. It's like so easy.
And Kendra is already just a wonderful artist.
Right.
As it is,
Exactly.
so
Like there's not even any thinking about it. It just makes our job super easy.
wonderful. Well, I guess then without further ado,
Without further ado, let's
we're
introduce
we're
her.
just going to go straight to it, guys.
Let's do it.
So introducing to you guys for the very first time, Ashabel.
Sway with the notes
The dancer.
as a petal lingers upon the wind.
It's very quiet.
It is very quiet.
It is very
It's
quiet.
okay. We can hear it later.
We can listen to it again later. Actually, I can play it one more time. Hold on. Let's see here.
Sway with the notes as a petal lingers upon the wind.
There we go.
There she is.
There she is. So
Um,
this is Ashabel the dancer. Very exciting.
Right. So she's an incredibly delightful lady, obviously. Kendra kind of envisioned her being this person from the South. Originally, the character internally was called the Fan Dancer, which is, I mean, obviously you can see kind of why that was.
Yes.
And then her, Chris Latois took the core nugget of the idea and kind of brought it forward into what she became today.
Excellent. I just looking at this final render done piece. Actually, obviously the in-game render that's been painted up by Kevin Lee, the one and only Kevin Lee, and based on Kendra's concept. It kind of just exudes grace.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's super cool.
It is very.
He did a
cool.
very good job on
So,
that render.
So really quickly looking at some of the concept pieces that we have for her, really quick.
Yeah.
And this one right here.
So what we have here, this is the original piece that Kendra gave us. So it's like a really quick sketch, but and it's nice and colored, and it really, we understood the character immediately upon looking at this. She had a sketch of several characters at kind of this level, and this is the one that first really called out to us. We were like, oh man, it's super cool.
Very cool.
The nice thing about kind of starting at this like sketch level is that Kendra has a really good idea of where this character is going to go. So it's not the iteration time on a character like this that came kind of from her mind on her own time is super low. She just was like, okay, I know what it's going to look like. Once we chose that one that we wanted to do, she just advanced it kind of to the next stage, which is.
Yeah, you can already see the kind of the poise and the grace are there in that
Right.
that sketch, that just basic preliminary sketch.
So here we have the final sketch, which has a nice turnaround and all the nice colors, and additionally more details on the dress and all the little bits, all her little bits that hang off of her. But like I said, it was just a natural progression off of the original quick sketch that she did as kind of a lineup.
Excellent.
That's not anything.
That's nothing.
All right, back to the render. I think those are the only two that we
Yeah,
have.
let's just show the render again then.
Okay.
So this is ultimately where we ended up at.
Right.
We were introduced to Ashabel in the story, in the fiction that Chris provided, Steel Part 1. I believe we have Steel Part 2 coming up today, so very exciting. If you haven't had a chance to read that, you should go read it. It is really well written, well done. I'm looking over
Yeah,
here.
it is super
Camera's
nice.
over here,
Yeah,
guys.
sorry.
Hey, blue
let's-
light.
Let's all look. I'll look this way, and you look that way.
Yeah,
Well,
very,
right.
very. So let's talk a little bit about this Shaper's kit and her design, because it wasn't an easy process with her at all.
No, it wasn't. So we started this kit several months ago now, and we wanted to try something different. We knew that we wanted to bring forth kind of the concept of dancing really heavily. Obviously, she looks very agile. She's a dancer. So originally, what we wanted to do was bring forth the idea of dancing. And what we originally thought of was, dancing has a lot of like spins to it. If you want a character, especially when they're holding two things in their hands, you want them to kind of spin a lot. And that always reads to me as a PB AoE, a point blank AoE, or an AoE that's centered around her, right? So we had this weird kit that we made where she was a ranged mage. She had a ranged basic attack, but her basic attack scaled with distance. So if she was closer to the enemy, she would deal more damage. And then she had all these melee style abilities. She had a lot of mobility tricks and a lot of PB AoEs on her kit. And this was this was pretty fun, and this was really in the early days of her kit. But we had to do a lot of weird things with that. We had to give her better scaling armor and scaling magic resist, which normally mages don't have. And we had to give her a passive that allowed her to generate a shield based on damage dealt, just so that she could survive, right? She was too squishy to even live in that kind of environment, even though that was kind of what we wanted to bring forward with the future. This was, of course, in Boxman state, the future for animations and effects. And we were really trying to what we were trying to do was force a bruiser kit onto a character that was not a bruiser. So overall, it was kind of a mistake, and we cut it off. We said, no, let's not do that. Let's bring her back to the mage zone. But we did kind of find a few things that interest us in that kit. We had an ultimate that was starting to head in a direction that we really liked. So we said, okay, we're going to keep refining this, and we're going to keep this on this kit. The other thing that we really liked on it was a very low cooldown, very spammable Q ability. Granted, then it was kind of a little mobility with a PBA AoE on it, but we liked the kind of cadence that you press those buttons. So those are the things that we wanted to keep. This R, which we were finding interesting, and then this low cooldown Q. So as she started to evolve, we started to push her towards more of a long-range mage, but we kept the idea of this spammable Q, and we went around for a lot of different Ws and Es at this time, but we couldn't really find things that were synergizing well with the entire kit. And I remember sitting there, and we had gone through this process a long time, and it was getting a little frustrating. And I remember thinking, I've been in this situation before, and I was like, where was it? And I was like, oh, right, it was Moya. So Moya had originally a Q and an R, and we weren't sure what to do with her W and E. We found the Q really fun, and it was really spammable, obviously. So we decided to kind of like work everything backwards into the Q. So we have the W and E on Moya that augments our Q, and we considered doing a similar thing for Ashabel. It was working to a degree, but thankfully Scott Moore at some point in time came up to me and said, Dibs, this feels really janky. the jank is super real. And I was like, oh, you're right. Like, we were so close to something. So we kind of took what we had in this kit, focusing on the Q, and we tweaked it a little bit in the way that kind of you press those buttons, which moved away from kind of Moya, which would be like a augmentation mage or something like that, and worked it back into the idea of dancing as well as focusing on a single ability. So that was it for getting to where we are with the kit. So I'll kind of save further tease for once we get to actual kit itself.
Okay.
But one of the things I should note that we have on here is Ashabel. I almost considered making Ashabel a new subtype of mage. So we have the burst mage, we have sustain mage, and we also have control mage. But really, I don't think that it qualified for a new type of mage. So what we ended up was that Ashabel was a sustain mage, and there's something kind of I need to clarify here, because I think that there may have been some confusion with what that actually means, and mostly this is on our fault. So the only sustain mage in the game right now is Fenmore. So most people think that Fenmore, being a sustain mage, is all about sustaining HP. Well, actually, that's not true. Sustain mage, in our terms, is referring to the amount of damage they're dealing and how much damage they deal over time. So a burst mage, someone like Amaranth, will always deal an incredible amount of damage up front. So like Amaranth's 2-second combo, right, REQ, is super duper strong, and will deal more damage than Fenmore will in that amount of time. However, if Fenmore is allowed like 6 seconds or 8 seconds in a fight, he's going to do more damage than Amaranth will. This is kind of the sustain part of his kit. It's sustained damage, not just sustaining HP. Most characters will have a trick that allows them to stay in a fight longer than a normal mage. Like, most mages could use their REQ and then get blown up, and they're like, well, I still contributed to that fight. But Fenmore needs to stick around a lot longer to be effective. So he has the shield. He has the healing. So Ashabel has some tricks as well, but they are not sustain-based, her damages.
Okay.
So,
Excellent. All right. So you did bring, when we had talked earlier, you did you brought up the idea about some of her role actually within the the concept of her being a sustain mage.
Right.
What were you? Like, was there a gap that we were trying to fill in our current lineup of shapers of like capability during laning phases, capability during endgame, things like that?
Yes. So what we wanted Ashabel to be was kind of something that we don't have yet in Dawngate. I think that maybe Zalgus almost fulfills this, but he doesn't because he's a burst mage. And that was a siege mage. So someone who excels at very long range. Someone who excels at poke, as well as the posturing before a team fight. So if two teams are against each other and you have a siege mage on your team, or someone who's excels at the siege role, you'll be able to poke down the enemy team before they get a chance to engage on them, especially if you're very cautious about having really good front line or having really good peel. So this was the sub-archetype I almost gave Ashabel, but ended up not naming her that because I think Sustain Mage was more appropriate.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. And we're going to show you guys what exactly we're talking about in just 1 second here as we jump into some gameplay. So I'm going to scooch over here.
Sounds good.
Real quick. And Dibs is going to take the wheels and show you guys all about Ashabel. I got to say, just before we get started here, the visual effects on Ashabel, especially on some of her abilities, just hats off, kudos to our artists, our team.
Very, very good.
They did an outstanding job. Do we know who did the visual effects for Ashabel?
Kiyoshi did.
Kiyoshi did them.
Yep.
Kiyoshi. Well, So Kiyoshi,
This kind of almost. I'll briefly talk. Should I switch to game cam?
yeah, go ahead and you can
Yeah.
switch to game cam.
So
There it goes.
there we go. So there she is. She's so pretty. Let me level up here. I'll talk briefly about the kind of effects. I'll do it later once we actually get to see all of them. And I'll go ahead and buy 100 power. So this is Ashabel. I'll walk her out here and do a few flirts and dances and whatnot. Let's make sure that people can hear it first.
We have the volume turned down pretty low on our side, just so you're aware.
So there she is. I'll do a flirt.
Come to my salon. I believe we'd share intriguing discussion.
A taunt.
Sit down, child. You mustn't humiliate yourself.
Joke.
Whoever might suggest I disrobe shall be beaten with reeds.
Wow!
And a dance.
I learned this when I studied in the north.
Well, she is a dancer after all.
Right.
The dancer.
So those of you who are saying, "Oh God, what is that cue? What is going on?" Or what is that ring around her? So I'll get to that in a second. But it is critical to her overall kit. I didn't level up her W on purpose to the person that noted it in chat. Okay, so I'm going to go to the parasite zone where, we always do these things. Here are my friends. Let's try to make sure that we don't let the game end. So if anyone notices the minions getting out of control, please let me know. So Ashabel is a ranged mage. She has a ranged basic attack. Ashabel is a pure shaper, and she has the passive Buffeting Winds. So something that we kind of passed over in the Mara reveal is that all characters from now on, regardless of pure shaper or having a resource, are going to have a passive. Oh, there you go. You cut up. Are going to have a passive. There will be kind of a update to characters in the future, a passive palooza, if you will, but that'll be sometime down the road. Generally, the TLDR on that is that we find passives to be just more fun. When we get there, we'll have to kind of rebalance based on what kind of new powers players get or shapers get, but that will be sometime down the road. So Ashabel is a pure shaper, and her passive is Buffeting Winds. Anytime that she deals damage to an enemy with an ability, she slows them by 25% for 2 seconds, and the slow amount decays during those 2 seconds. So just hitting enemies with my abilities will slow them and allow me to kind of combo with my abilities, as you'll see once we get in. Ashabel's Q is Gale. Ashabel targets a location and fires a ball of wind to that location, dealing magical damage in an area. Gale has a very low cooldown, and the cooldown is reduced if I hit any enemy with the ability. So you see that at base rank it's about a 5-second cooldown, and it's reduced by 40%. So doing this to Pluto here, you can see I have about a 2.5 second cooldown, and I'm able to use this ability very, very often. The ring here is indicating the range of Gale, and you'll see kind of why that is important and why this character has that uniquely. Ashabel's W is Stance Stance. Immediately upon ranking up her W, I enter Zephyr Stance. This is one of Ashabel's 2 stances, which she can switch between freely using her W ability. Zephyr Stance permanently increases the range of my Gale by 20%. So the base range of Gale is 850, but as soon as I level up my W, it becomes 1020. So this is a very, very, very long range ability now, and is really, really potent for sieging. Activating Stance Stance will put me into my other stance, which is Storm Stance. This greatly reduces the range of Gale, but also greatly increases the damage. Now, it's by 25%. So if I'm in Zephyr Stance and I use my Gale, I'll deal 359 damage. However, if I'm in Storm Stance and use my Gale, I will do 431. So this is a very, very significant upgrade to the damage, and it scales not only the base damage, but also the scaling damage of it as well. So as Ashabel gets more and more power, as she gets into later game, the Gale will be doing more and more damage. But obviously, the reduced range is quite a risk. If Ashabel changing between these 2 stances during combat is the key to playing Ashabel very effectively. Oh, parasite, die. If an enemy is within your Storm Stance range, you're going to want to be within Storm Stance. You're going to be just dealing more damage overall. And obviously that's just better. In addition to changing the range of Gale, and also changing the damage, Stance has a passive on it, which increases the damage of Gale additionally. So every rank of W will just increase Gale's damage by 5% per rank, up to a maximum of 25%. So if I have a max rank W and I'm also in Storm Stance, Gale will be doing 150% damage, not just 100, or not just the additional 25. In addition to changing the range of Gale, Stance changes what Ashabel's E ability is. So Ashabel's E ability is Unleash, and like I said, changes depending which stance she's in. While in Zephyr form, Unleash is Slipstream. It is a ranged, she fires a bolt of air out in target direction, dealing magical damage to the first target it hits. The damage of this ability increases the amount of range, the amount of distance it travels before hitting an enemy. So if Pluto's right next to me, I'll deal 176 damage. And if Pluto's at the max range, I'll deal 300. The range is equivalent to the range of my Gale while in Zephyr stance. So you can use the ring also as an indicator for if you're going to hit someone with Slipstream. Because Ashabel's Buffeting Winds slows targets on ability damage, landing an EQ combo is really easy. I can hit someone with my E, slow them by 25%, and make it easier to hit my Q. If Ashabel is in Storm Stance, Unleash becomes Storm Wall. Storm Wall is a PB/AoE magical damage nuke that also pushes enemies away. So if find myself surrounded by bruisers or surrounded by enemies, I can use this to give myself a little extra room to move, push them away, and kind of hopefully get away. Since Ashabel has no mobility on her kit and no hard CC other than Storm Wall, this is kind of a critical ability for her to hold on to. This can be used while moving and is very effective at knocking away bruisers or assassins or tanks, what have you. It should be noted that Unleash, both Slipstream and Stormwall, do not share a cooldown. So the one analog ability in Dawn Gate, of course, is Ferris's W Access Memories. It does not work like that. These abilities have a separate cooldown. I can use Slipstream, switch into Storm form, use Stormwall, as long as they're both available. So I also need to kind of keep track of which ones are on cooldown. If I use Slipstream here and it's on cooldown, and I'm in Storm form, I need to know for the next few seconds I'm not going to have another Slipstream available. The reason why we did this kind of different than we did Ferris was that for Ferris, Access Memories is kind of in both forms. It's similar. It's deal damage, and it's deal damage in an area. One of them is better against Shapers and has more burst. One of them is kind of better if you can keep people in it for longer. But they're both more or less the same ability. While this is kind of two different things. It's both used for sieging and for protection. If Ashabel didn't have Stormwall when she used Slipstream, she would be extremely vulnerable and basically just get vaporized anytime it was down. So that leaves us to Ashabel's ultimate. So Ashabel's ultimate is Wrath of Heaven. Oop, let me unlock a little bit. Yeah. Wrath of Heaven targets a location and summons a giant dragon to that location, dealing magical damage to all enemies in an area. The thing about Wrath of Heaven is that it is global range. Ashabel can cast this from any location on the map to any location on the map. So this is the first global range ability in the game, or at least global damaging ability in the game. Dibs, of course, can fly to any location. But this makes it a very, very, very strong ability. It allows her to kind of interact with teamfights from bot lane or from the base or wherever she is on the map. She can say, "Oh, like they need some kind of help here. I can give it to them by casting Wrath of Heaven at this location." There's a few details about how Wrath of Heaven works. Ooh, let's go back over here. Wrath of Heaven has a at least a 1.5 second warm up. What you see here, this little timer here, is 1.5 seconds before it hits. It additionally has additional warm-up depending on how far she throws it. So if I'm going base to base, let's go from here to here, you'll see that a ring appears in this location, and then the 1.5 second warm-up. So up to an additional second gets added onto Wrath of Heaven's time to hit, depending on how far you throw it. It should be noted that your allies only will see this ring here, and then when the ring with the timer shows up both enemies and allies can see that. So if I cast this from very far away and my allies see it, they'll say, "Oh man, we need to engage. We need to CC people. We need to lock them down because Ashabel's Wrath of Heaven is about to land." This also makes this a very, very good and very powerful ability for stealing Parasite. So this is kind of one of the only abilities I can do it. The other long-range abilities in the game, Nisa's Final Flight is pretty good for stealing it. Unfortunately, other long-range abilities like Final Chapter, Zalgus's Ultimate, cannot even hit the Parasite. So this is probably the marquee Parasite steal ability in the entire game.
And we have seen that happen several times.
We have seen it happen so many times.
Jesus.
One step at a time.
Right.
Moxie is. I've heard Moxie's quite the terror with Ashabel,
Moxie
actually.
pretty much pioneered the Parasite Ashabel's steal.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So that is all of Ashabel's kit. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything. Nope, that is
Pretty
it.
sure you covered it all. So we've already seen a lot of people comment in the chat about how just from the get-go, this kit, the mechanics of this kit are pretty complicated and pretty complex.
They are complicated.
Is that something we were going for, was trying to create a little bit more intricate and complex of a Shaper kit?
Right. Something that's interesting about the Siege plus Sustain archetype is that it can be very, very powerful and needs to kind of be limited. This kit requires, I don't want to say, it requires a lot of skill. Hitting this Q, this area for this Q is not very large. It is difficult to hit, but is highly rewarding if you hit it. So if you're a skilled player, or if you're playing with people who know how to play with an Ashabel, they know to CC enemies for as long as they can. Slows are very effective for teammates with Ashabel. You can land that Q over and over and over and do a ton of damage, but this is really, really difficult to do. Switching between Zephyr Stance and Storm Stance actually becomes very natural, and is not really what I find is of the overall skill of the kit. It's more about hitting your E's and your Q's as consistently as possible. Of course, map awareness is extremely important for her ultimate, but that's it's kind of what you sign up for when you play this character.
Okay, excellent.
Remember
Let's talk about roles.
Let's talk about roles. So the roles that I like to play Ashabel in are both Gladiator and Tactician. The reason I think that she's a really good Gladiator compared to some other mages is that, like I said, her Gale will reset regardless of whether it deals damage to a Shaper or a minion. So if I'm just sitting here, farming this wave, of course I have a lot of power for this point in the game, so don't go too much on that. My cooldown is... Oh, let's actually turn on my cooldowns. Let me go to the other wave. My cooldowns are very low. She can clear extremely effectively, and as long as she's hitting minions, her clear will stay up. As you can see, I just hit that one minion there between those three. It's a very, very tiny radius. But hitting it over and over and over will allow you to clear waves, last hit very, very easily. Same thing goes for Tactician. While in Zephyr form, obviously I have very, very long range. It's easy for me to poke, and it deals a ton of damage, so that's also a really, really effective strategy. Jungle, not so great for a mage. And Predator could be good because you have the ability to kind of proc assists or kills with Wrath of Heaven, which is obviously would help you get a lot of money.
Right, absolutely. I mean, that Q again, just showing, it just rewards that high skill play. But you have to be able to land those skill shots.
You have to be able to land that skill shot. It's pretty tricky, but if you do it, you're really, really going to be dealing a lot of damage.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about itemization. What kind of a build are you recommending?
So I really like high damage builds. One of the things that we do that's interesting, one of the things that we suggest that's interesting about this character is Chaos. Chaos we find to be an unbelievably effective buy for this character. She can proc it. Essentially, if she's in a posturing situation, she can proc that extremely often by galing people. But additionally, often if she's using her ultimate to snipe from far away, Chaos will be off cooldown, and just adding an additional 100 damage to an already pretty large AoE magical damage zone is like just unbelievable. It just adds so much burst. Since it additionally pulls 10% of the damage dealt, and you get to proc that on your ultimate, the chain lightning is going to be really, really effective. So Chaos is an almost must-buy, I think, in almost all situations. Destruction, also good for her core item set. Just give her that extra power, extra defense pen. Decay is interesting as well. Since we used, back before at Palooza, Decay would proc differently on AoE effects versus single target effects. I would not have suggested it back then, but now that it's a flat 6%, regardless of the type of damage that you deal, it's very, very effective. If you can get both a Chaos and a Decay on someone in one Q, you're going to deal a lot of damage, even if some of it's upfront and some of it's over time. So Divinity is a pretty obvious buy on her. She's got a lot of different ways to deal magical damage Gale resetting very often, Stormwall and Slipstream as well as her ultimate. Just dealing any additional damage via Overload is really powerful. And then Rage, of course, as well, if you come into a situation where the enemies are building a lot of magic resist. Momentum is pretty good because of how you need to realize how vulnerable Ashabel is. She has no hard CC other than Stormwall, and that's kind of a last defense thing that she'd use against Assassins or Bruisers. So if she gets caught out by a Kel, or if she gets hooked by a Kogan, she's going to be in big time trouble. So having the Unshakable passive on Momentum could help you get out of that scenarios, especially if your Dispel is down or your Blink is down. Subjugation is good as well because of how often she can proc it. Proccing against the entire enemy team, or even the Bruiser that's trying to chase you, is really, really potent for potentially saving yourself and your team.
Okay, excellent. And of course, a lot of people asking about Pursuit. So really quickly, before we get into a really quick Q&A and then move on to the next segment, tips and tricks about playing with Ashabel or as Ashabel and playing against Ashabel.
So with Ashabel, especially, so people need to realize the difficulty of hitting her Q. It's really easy when the Zeri is standing right here, but in a team fight it can be very tricky. If you're playing with an Ashabel in your team, consider your slow option. So if I was playing with a Zeri or a Divs, which I think would be a good combo, or even a Renzo, be sure that Ashabel has her Q and whatever E she's currently using up before landing something like a Ripple or a Spatter to get that slow off. It's going to really help her if you can give her an easier time to hit her Q, since she'll be able to reset it and kind of keep it rolling. Playing as Ashabel, what is most important is staying safe. So being in Zephyr form during kind of the posturing and poking period of a team fight is really important because it'll keep you well out of range of kind of the engages of people like Kel or Kogan. But also be considering constantly which form should I be in right now. Should I be in Zephyr form for this additional range, or should I be in Storm form? Storm form will always be dealing much more damage and will give me access to Stormwall very quickly. The Stance has a 1.5 second flat cooldown, so while you're able to switch pretty quickly, if you were caught out by a Cerulean ultimate, you might not be able to switch in time. So always be considering, what engagers of theirs have what abilities up, and what do I need to be worrying about at this time? Poking, or do I need to worry about my own safety?
Okay.
Playing against Ashabel is exactly the opposite of that. Dive her extremely hard. If you start to posture over something like Parasite, or you're posturing over a Binding or what have you, and you don't dive her, you're just going to get poked relentlessly. You're going to just get whittled down, and by the time you engage, if most of your team is has 30% or 40% of their health missing, you're going to lose. You want to dive her as hard as you can with tanks, with bruisers, and assassins, because she's just a mage. She has to build a lot of power to be very effective, so she's going to pretty much melt. Once Stormwall's down, she has nothing on her kit to save her besides the buffeting wind slow, which is not that high. So if you can get on her, she pretty much vaporizes.
Excellent. All right. So before we get in the Q&A, we actually have somebody ask in the Q&A if you could do a really quick, just full rotation like you would do normally playing against somebody.
So because she's not a burst mage, she doesn't have a full rotation. So mainly what I'm looking to do in lane is do this EQ combo. I'm going to deal, just a ton of damage against enemies. As I get closer, I want to use my Stormwall and then immediately follow up with a Q. Buffeting winds will apply off Stormwall, so the enemies are slowed by 25% right after a Stormwall hits. I actually use Wrath of Heaven as kind of a signal for my team to initiate. We actually gave Ashabel a 1-star initiator rating in her Shaper Styles. If I can use her ultimate, I'll be slowing the entire team. He will get vaporized by it. I'll be slowing the entire team, and hopefully my team will engage to follow up on that and get that damage off. Don't forget to die. Yeah, I've got to die too. All right, here we go.
She did it. So graceful, even in death. All right, guys, so here's a good chance to ask some questions. We got about 5 minutes for a Q&A for Ashabel. I know that's not as much as we normally do, but we got a lot of ground to cover right now. So if you could put a Q with the colon mark in front of your question, that'll help us identify the question in the chat really quickly. So while we're waiting for folks to queue up their questions, Dibs, what's been your favorite part about designing the Shaper?
Well, I actually really liked. I think Kiyoshi, the effects artist on this guy on Ashabel, did a extremely good job. He's kind of pushing for something a little bit different with Ashabel that I think that we're going to be seeing going forward. So I think seeing her effects come online was probably the most exciting part. We had a lot of cool like stylistic things that we were working for, like a lot of these kind of like puffs and stuff, as well as those cut lines when I switch into storm form here, like very, very cool stuff. At the same time, we did the same thing kind of with animations. One of the things that you notice, which is a little bit more subtle, is that Ashabel is the first character to have a combat and out of combat walk. As you see here, I'm walking around, no enemies to be seen. I have my fans closed, but as I get closer to these two enemy shapers, she'll actually pop them open and enter a more combat like ready stance. This is something that we want to do with characters going forward because I think it adds a nice little touch. It's kind of a more subtle thing that I think is pretty neat.
Yeah. And another art shout out really quickly, the animations on Ashabel.
Yep, Jeep.
Her auto attack Jeep. Wow, what a great job.
Super nice.
All right. So, question that we saw, more dragons needed. Where was the question? I saw a question asking, do any of her abilities give vision?
Yes, so her ultimate ability gives vision, but none of her other ones do. As you can see here, I can use Wrath of Heaven at this location. As soon as the 1.5 second warm-up starts, I will get vision of the area for that duration.
Okay. Let's see here. Does she have any interactions with other shapers?
She does not at the moment, but they are coming.
Okay. Jax on the Fox is asking, doesn't her ult seem just a little bit long? I'm guessing he means on the cast time, the build-up time.
So this was actually, that's a good question. This was actually probably the most important part of getting that ultimate right. 1.5 seconds is a pretty long warm-up, but any shorter means that if I cast it directly on an enemy shaper, they could not escape physically unless they use the high mobility ability. If they started to walk towards the edge, they would not make it. And that wasn't really what we wanted to do with the ability. Since it can deal a ton of damage in a really large area compared to, say, like King of Mass or Amaranth, the amount of area that they can cover, it needed to kind of that warm-up. I really want Ashabel to have to think about her team's engagement. You know, if she sees an enemy that's kind of stuck in a fight, or if she sees the enemy team kind of stuck in a fight with her friend who might be like a Desecrator, using his Q and his E to CC the enemies, that's a really good time to ultimate. If you see someone just walking away and they're like a Moya or someone else that's very slippery, that's not a good time to use your ultimate. I don't want to be a kind of a freebie hit, but if you can hit multiple enemies, kind of synergizing with your team, it can be extremely powerful. Additionally, counterbalance with the fact that it's global. It has a very unique ability to interact with teamfights from very far away.
Plus dragon.
Plus it's a dragon.
It's a dragon, exactly. Michael actually had a really good question. This is going to be the last one we're going to take, guys, unfortunately. Does her new kind of state stance, like in combat, out of combat, would that give away ganks, or is that only in true vision?
I'm not sure if I understand the question.
Like her fans opening up, if somebody's waiting in a bush as she walks by.
No, sorry. So it does not pierce the fog of war. It cannot see people in bushes. So it will not. She will not enter a combat stance if she cannot see a lane minion or shaper.
Okay, excellent. All right. Well, Dibs, thank you very much. We're gonna. I'm sure that there's gonna be posts up about Ashabel very soon in the forum and on the Reddit.
Yep, you've got questions. You can bring them there.
Bring your questions over there. Normally we do a little bit longer of a Q&A, but unfortunately today we're just a little bit slammed. I would say so.
It's slammed.
We're gonna take a quick break and transition out. We're gonna come back, and it's gonna be Miss Laura Mae Brown, Miss Moneypenny, and then Illustrium, our art director, Luke Harrington, are gonna be here, and then I'll be back in just a little bit. But thank you very much, Dan. We really appreciate you stopping by and sharing this new shaper. She will be coming to you in the next patch, ladies and gentlemen. So,
yep.
Alrighty, and if you can just go ahead and hit that sizzle button in the mute mic. We'll be back in a second, guys.
Bye bye.
slain the parasite.
Hi everyone, we are hijacking this stream. I am Laura Brown, Miss Moneypenny, and I'm here with Luke Illustrium, and we have so many exciting things to talk to you about. So the rest of this stream, hopefully you're pretty pumped after Ashabel, but the rest of this stream I wanted to talk about 4 main things. Some sneak peek into some exciting content, so that's why Luke's here with us, as well as our new collection interface, some stuff that's happening in the economy, and then also a really exciting reward promotion. So,
hello.
Hi, Luke. So Luke is our art director, and
hey, everybody.
Hey. So we've been working on something really exciting for a while now. You ready for me to reveal?
Sure. Yeah. What's it called?
It's called Forge Fire Desecrator.
Sounds pretty neat.
All right. So this is a very exciting skin for us. Forge Fire Desecrator is a reimagination of Desecrator, if you like, as a harbinger of fire and ash, and it replaces him with his usual decay vitality. He also is coming out with a matching ward skin too in the next patch, so that's very exciting. But Luke and I were really working together to understand how to build deeper personality into the skins, how to take it to the next level, and this skin for us was, an example of this, a demo of this, our prototype, if you like. This is our most advanced skin so far, and it takes us to a new level. So I don't want to take too much away from you, Luke, but he does have a new VFX kit.
Yep.
And he's got some exciting new sounds to support the VFX kit.
Yeah, this is a really fun skin for those of you like myself who've been waiting through beta to get a Desecrator skin. With the Forged Fire skin, he's got a full suite of new effects and some pretty sweet stuff. Yeah, I think we should just jump right into it and take him through his abilities.
All right. So this is him in game.
All right, that's the side of him. And dun, 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 here he is. Going to zoom in. You can check out his burning skull in there. And we have a nice Zeri waiting there to see what happens when Forge Fire does his thing. So Forgotten Tombs, if you guys recall in the basic kit, is a bunch of gravestones that pop up, and we have urns now. So kind of theming everything. Desecrator is really interesting, and we have models for a lot of his kit, and we went for it. Tried to come up with something special and unique, so you'd really know when you have the Forge Fire skin going. One more time. Almost missed her there. Check out his back. He's got a pretty cool grill back there. Yeah, so Chilling Presence. I'm going with a fire theme for everything. We didn't want to really just burn the hell out of everybody, but it's got kind of a smoke effect. Check it out again. Oh, just going ham on there. So Desecrated Ground, got kind of a burning ring. You can see the skeletons grabbing up a lot better than with his base. And let's try and get Zeri in one more thing. Boom, dude, who wants to stand in that?
Yeah, that circle's pretty intimidating.
And with the ult.
Died here. Let me introduce myself. I am this. Come out.
Yeah, so that's the kit. I mean, in making skins for characters, a lot of times we sit down with that visual challenge of like, what can we add to this to make it super cool? And if they have very notable models in their effects, then it gives us something really juicy to get creative with. People had a lot of fun kind of stopping by and coming up with Desecrator ideas. We've heard a lot of stuff. And the fun of that is that he's not really a normal character. He's not just, design a dress or an outfit or a new weapon. It's really just this shambling box.
Yeah.
So a bit of an abstraction there, and deciding what's going to pop out of him and what do you want to dump on some other shaper as you're attacking him is been super fun. Yeah, I wonder what else is in his future. We definitely have a few things up our sleeves, but
Yeah, we're definitely open to ideas.
Yeah.
Some people
Yeah,
are
what do you guys
saying
wanna
already
see?
fridge, oven, dishwasher. Lots of electrical appliances going on there.
yeah, I always wanted to find a way to shoot a horse out of there or something, but I don't know what the overall theme for that one might be.
Oh, we
but-
forgot to do the dance. Let's go back
Oh,
to
nice.
the game cam really quick, and if you could do his dance.
Sure thing. Yeah, Dibs made me promise to do the dance.
Nice.
Yeah, this is my favorite. I played Desecrator a lot, and if you can pull off a slash dance, kind of in a heated moment, it is
Yes.
pretty much one of the trolliest dances there are.
Oh my
And just
God.
kind of dangling this burning corpse in front of people is pretty infuriating. It's got some drips down there too.
Yep.
Oh, Pluto's got one too, huh?
Yes.
Oh no.
He's out dancing you.
Oh, he's trolling us back. Nice.
All right. So, do you want to talk a little bit about some of the journey to getting to this skin?
Yeah, we have a couple of concepts in here. If you could load those up, that would be pretty sweet. With Desecrator, he is, I don't want to say it's easy to come up with him, but we come up with a lot of ideas for this guy. And when we said, Forge Fire Desecrator, he's like this, crematorium theme. We pretty much went right at it. You can see the initial sketches right here from Nick. He did some of these in watercolor, which is neat. These are floating around somewhere. And they're pretty close to the original. We worked on them a little bit. If you go to the next image, you can see the final concept. And he just came right out, He had to be. Go for it. Let's take off that.
Take
by
this
there.
one away?
Yeah. Yeah, so he's got kind of the strong, bearded rage face, idless tech motif on him. He's got some pretty sweet knee pads and forearm cauldron things. And we got to have fun making a new burning corpse inside and also give him some urns. So super fun for artists to go after something like this. It's not exactly a quote-unquote lore skin where we're driving after a story beat, but this is really like, let's just sell some awesome burning effects and make it cool, make it super fun. And like I said, I play Desecrator a lot in beta, and I see the skins coming out, and I'm like, well, I can't wait till
When's it my turn?
till I get that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I'm usually a Fenmore Desecrator, sometimes Moya player, so.
And I think Desecrator players will really like this skin. I think, it's intimidating, it's true to his nature. It's a bit badass.
While the kit is the same, the abilities are the same on all the skins, obviously. When we first designed the visual effects for the Shaper, we're trying to match it really closely to what the abilities do. So if you look at kind of the color scheme of his base, it's green, blue, miasma, kind of like a crypt gas. It has a little bit of a necromancy kind of feel to it. And because his abilities have some CC elements and then also damage, they're not super hot, They're kind of dialed down in the mid-range, and when you retheme those as fire, we take a few liberties with that, and these are really intense. I think there's like a bit of a psychological edge when you go in there and you're like, boom, I'm going to dump a fat fire ring on these people, and you have to decide whether you're going to stand in it.
Yeah.
I think we have a lot of aversion to standing in a fire ring.
In a fire, I think that's fair enough.
Like, there's a corpse in my feet. I got some.
I could just step on that.
I got MR. It's all right. But so there is intimidation factor here. I'm super excited about playing this game.
Yeah,
so.
I'm super excited. I think I have to convert to being a Desecrator player too.
Dude, definitely.
All right, so I just want to jump to some questions really quickly, and any other ideas that people have. We are open to suggestions for Desecrator skins. So I think I saw one earlier, but it's gone.
Well, this guy, I always think about Desecrator as, so he's sort of like a King of Masks and like Amara a little bit, in that he's putting something in front of you that you have to respond to, and whether you've built your defense enough that those attacks don't really matter, you still it's very uncomfortable to play while in the throes of whatever the ability is, right?
I think that's fair. I think the converse of this skin is maybe somebody suggesting in the forums an ice cream truck Desecrator. So maybe maybe
like
we should
that
do that.
idea.
Yeah, you can throw. So lots of people saying go back and show him. So
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
want to move him around and do his abilities again.
Sure. Yeah, I'll just truck him around. Wonder if Brad's on. Is he controlling his one, or is that guy just standing there?
I think he's just chilling right now.
I'm gonna go over here. Pretend I'm leaving.
And people are also asking on the
Boom.
forums what the difference will be between the colors for the enemy and the friendly.
Well, there's a little bit of a color ring here. You can see we could switch it up. I mean, we always go kind of blue and red where it's important. You know, fire be fire. So have to deal with it.
Take
him down.
Death,
Boom.
stone.
One for Eva Cheap, slaying the inert Pluto.
I think this might be our only opportunity to ever slay
That's
Pluto.
right. Finally, I've been waiting so long for this.
Just
see who's over
another
here.
potter's field.
I don't know if I'll be able to take these guys, but
Hands of death. Lacerate.
Shipping container desecrator. That's a new one that's getting suggested.
I gotta get out of here.
It tastes like silver.
Oh,
Just gonna check out this right here. Dance
Dance.
with the big letters.
oh, let's zoom in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops, I need to rotate. Not the best dancing position. Dance! I like to yell dance when I dance.
I forgot I had this.
Yeah, there he
Awesome.
is. Yeah, just imagine this guy. I think we all kind of get in that mode where if you're an opposing player and you got the fog of war up there and somebody just appears out of there, that first impact of what it is. And I think this guy's just badass. I mean, he's just totally on fire. You're not going to want to get cooked, and been waiting a long time to release
Yeah.
this. And so this, I think you mentioned earlier that this kind of represents a type of skin where we're doing a lot of stuff. It's not
Yeah.
just like here's a new theme or here's a new outfit, but we're supplementing it with effects. We got models that are also a part of it.
Great
And
sounds.
Yeah, we have new sounds. Caleb's done a great job just kind of, knocking on our doors and be like, you're going to do this? All right, I'm going to do some cool sounds, and making sure that comes in with it.
Yeah, for all our skins, I mean, we are always looking for ways, which is the best way to really go deep on their personality. And I think this is a really great example for us. And this is sort of the first of its kind, if you like, sort of taking it to the next level. So,
Definitely. Does anybody have any questions, or did they come up with any other
filing cabinet,
suggestions?
honey cake desecrator.
Ambitious.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. Well, those are really
Well, this-
the
yeah.
art notes on this guy, and hope you guys think he's pretty badass. I am super excited about this guy, getting him to, in people's hands, and I wonder how often we'll see the base desecrator after this guy's rolling around.
Yeah, I'm excited about Forge Fire, and I hope you guys are too. So stick with us. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to sneak peek some more new content, so stay with us. And then we're going to talk about the economy, and we're also going to talk about some really cool reward promos that we're doing. All right, stay tuned. Thank you, Luke, for joining us.
Bye, everybody.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Thank you for sticking around. We've had a pretty exciting day up till now. Introduction of our first premium skin.
I know, I'm very excited about
Very
it.
excited. I gotta say, like, what we've done with, and I have to remind myself, Forge Fire Desecrator, because we called him something else, something different, just up until a couple of days ago. What we've done with Forge Fire Desecrator is beautiful. Like, I love the work that Martin did on it. By the way, that is Martin. You guys may have seen him a couple of weeks ago on our Spanish community catch-up. He'll actually be back again this week, this Wednesday, with Jesus Guillen again, because, well, we're going to be on a plane. Brad and I, Pluto and I, will be on a plane going out to Boston, so we're super excited about that. But Martine did a wonderful job with Forge Fire on the VFX, just absolutely gorgeous. So hats off to our art team again. Just constantly, our artists are just constantly amazing.
Us. Yeah.
So before we get into kind of, I would say, what is the meat of our conversation, we have one more bit of new content to go over. Actually, one more. Bit of new content that's actually a completely new kind of content for
brand
Dawngate.
Brand new category.
And it's something that we've been talking about. It's something that our players have actually been asking for quite a while. So this is exciting. Before we go into it, though, and we actually have like a nice little video that was put together for us, and I don't want to say who did it because then they'll
give it away. Yes,
exactly. One of our goals with Dawngate has always been customization.
Yes.
Right. Customization. To have it be an experience that is uniquely Dawngate, but at the same time is uniquely yours.
Right.
So what is this new feature we're putting in? Like, what are we hoping to achieve with that?
So this new feature is our brand new announcer VO packs. We are super excited. We're looking to do one for every single shaper. So to Andy's point earlier, this is a way for you, whoever your favorite shaper is, you can go really deep with them and get, hear them, helping you through the game. And it's really, really excited. We're looking at ways to diversify how you can personalize, and our rollout plan for the upcoming features is really to help you build different ways of having that shaper that, although it's the same shaper for everyone, you have a different way of expressing yourself through this shaper, through sound, through VFX, whatever it is. And I don't want to give away too much of some of the stuff that's in the works, but we're hoping that each shaper can be unique to the individual player who plays them.
Absolutely.
And this is already true of the way that we have, flexible meta, and now we have flexible customization. Absolutely.
I mean, everybody has their favorite, one or two shapers. Some maybe more than that, but I mean, one of the things that I love that's been done in the MOBA genre is these voice packs. I mean, there are ways that really make the game just feel like yours.
Yes.
It really does make it feel like yours. It makes you more invested in the game, more a part of it. So I'm really looking forward to these.
And they're pretty hefty packs.
Yes,
so
they are, absolutely.
These packs have equal number of lines as we did for an original shaper. So there's a lot of lines going on.
Yep.
All the lines are custom written for that specific shaper.
Right.
So it's not just different shaper voices saying the same lines. Completely different lines have been written to really go deep on their personality. So that's really exciting.
That's super exciting.
So we do have a couple to show off.
Absolutely. And so should we show the video?
Yeah, let's go for it.
You want to go for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, maybe a little pre-ramble first, if that's okay.
Go your pre-ramble or preamble?
I meant preamble, but it may turn into ramble now.
Okay. All right.
Slight modification. So I'm going to steal some of the video's thunder, and we are going to talk about King of Masks and Fenmore. So very popular shaper for us, very exciting, very different personalities as well. As you know, King of Masks is very flamboyant, and for him it's a dramatic narration.
Yes.
Of the game.
Where's Fenmore? Wait.
Where
Sorry, no, that's Freya, but you get the gist.
Yes. Well, whereas Fenmore is a little bit more serious, and he's basically going to treat you like one of his military subjects, shall we say.
Yes.
So I've stolen some of the thunder, so we should go straight to the video
now.
now.
So here we go, guys. Without any further ado, the wonderful Caleb Epps, our audio director, has provided this video of our upcoming voiceover packs, The King of Masks and Fenmore. And I'm going to go ahead and mute us while we play that.
Let every member of the pack do their duty. The fattened beast is slain. I hear the squeals of terrified swine. Outstanding. I admire your prowess. The field is clear. Advance to victory.
Places, everyone. We're on in 3, 2, 1. And kill the extras. Shouts Again, our hero shows the enemy the folly of villainy. All hope was lost. Who could save them now? The heroes triumphant! All their enemies lay prostrate.
Wow, it's super exciting.
I'm so excited.
Yay. So again, wonderful job to Caleb, and I'm sure that Andrea did quite a bit of work on these
Yes,
as well.
definitely.
So hats off to our audio department. If I had a hat on, I would take it. I would tip it to you.
Yeah, what happened to your hats?
I'm not wearing them quite as much these days.
Yeah.
It's just a choice. I'm trying to shake it up a little bit. But that's okay. I want to go ahead and reiterate something that Laura May did say just a little bit ago. We are working on announcer packs for all the Shapers.
Yes.
I've already heard some of them. I honestly cannot wait for you guys to hear the Zalgus announcer pack. It sounds awesome. It's probably my favorite, actually.
And
So-
Ashabel has one coming out with her when she comes out too.
That is true. We're releasing Ashabel with an announcer pack,
And a new
a skin as well at the
Yes.
same time. So, very exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff. So, we're going to transition into the next part. This is super exciting.
Yes.
I've already seen a lot of people in the chat say, "Shut up and take my money." In the chat, they are saying, "I'm throwing money at my screen, but it's not making the Desecrator skin
I'm trying
come
to
out."
swipe my credit card.
It's just not working.
It's not working.
But you know what? Up until this point, we haven't been able to say, okay. Well, that's about to change.
It is about to change. It's very exciting. All of you guys who've been playing and helping us with the feedback and the testing, hopefully you've had good fun with the test waypoints we've been giving you and unlocking some great content. That's given us some great insight, and we are finally ready to turn on real money purchasing. But before we launch into that, I quickly wanted to show you this amazing interface called the Collection
Right.
that we've been working on, and big, if I had a hat, hats off to Ian Hetu, who is our great and amazing
Yep.
UI UX designer behind this. And before I show it to you, it is going to replace the Shaper and the Ward Skins tabs. It's a brand new tab. It's basically like a learning center full of knowledge. It is managed by a curator, which I'll show you him as well.
Absolutely.
And this is a place where you can gather information about Shapers, how to play them, their abilities, things like that. It has all our content in it, and our content is also the unlockable content and the content that you can get through achievements.
Okay.
So-
So I'm sorry, just really quickly, I do want to go ahead and clarify something really quick, guys. Everything that we're going to be talking about, the next three things we're going to be talking about, all of it ties together
Yes.
into this one thing. So we are going to start with the collection. So I do see your questions flying by. Please, if you can, just hold on to them for a little bit. We'll probably interject a couple here and there, but for the most part, I really would appreciate if you guys can save your questions towards the end, and we'll answer all the questions that we can, as long as we are still surviving at the end of this 2-hour mega stream. So I'm sorry to cut you off there.
No worries. I saw a question just in the corner of my eye, so I did want to clarify one thing. So when I said that the Shaper and the Ward Skin tabs were gone, the tabs are gone, and they have been integrated into the collection, but all that content exists. The content exists, it's just all been rolled up into a much nicer, cleaner interface of knowledge.
Well, you know what? How about this? Instead of just telling them about it, would you like us to show them it?
Yeah, let's do a quick
Wonderful.
walkthrough.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the gameplay cam. You guys are actually going to see a preview of what our homepage is going to look like with the next patch. So, a little bit of a spoiler alert there. Sorry. So, anyways, here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and scooch over and let you drive.
Sure.
This is my version over here.
All right. So as you can see up here, we have a new tab. It's called the Collection. When you go into the collection, you're greeted by the curator. He is an advisor character who owns the whole library of knowledge, and coincidentally, he is also the voice for the default announcer. So he plays a lot of roles. As you can see, when you first come in, he shows you some new and upcoming stuff. So if you see, if I hover over here in Ashabel, you can see she has some great personality idols. Here's her new Warlord skin that's coming out as well. Very exciting.
I got to say, I just love this level of polish. By the way, this is quite amazing.
It's fantastic, and it's a great preview to what it will look like in game as well.
Absolutely.
And then we had our Forge Fire Desecrator that we showed earlier, and I also mentioned its matching ward skin, so that's a little bit of a set if you want to collect them. So as you can see over here on the left, there's different ways for you to filter. So it's done into types of content, shaper skins, etc. We have the different archetypes, what roles that you like to play. We have our world regions from the lore. And then we have our play styles. So it's much easier for you to find the content that you're looking for. So if we wanted to see shapers, as you can see, they all have really amazing personality idols. It's very exciting. And you can see there's difference in the border colors. So the gold borders mean that you've unlocked them and you own them, and then the silver borders are yet to be unlocked. You can have multiple ways of filtering, so you can have shapers that are from the west, so that's very exciting. You can, if I take away shapers and you just have content from the west, you can also see other content that comes in, like these two really great ward skins. And then one thing I wanted to show you very quickly, let me take away the west, is I'm giving you a little bit of a sneak peek of some great ward skins that are coming out.
Oh, goodness.
I know, I'm sorry, I could not stop myself. I just want to show you this one.
That ward skin is amazing.
Look at his face. So this one's really cute, and I'm also giving a sneak peek into something that we're going to talk about. So people that were on the stream earlier with me, I mentioned a reward promo scheme. So these are where these ward skins come in, and I'm going to tell you how you can unlock them later on in the stream. So here is a beautiful golden waystone, and here is a blazing waystone on fire. We have a bit of a fire theme going on right now.
Just a little bit, yes.
Great, so we also have some sorting over here. So you can sort obviously by alphabetical, the date added, price high low, and we're hoping as well to evolve the advisor so that he can appear on some of these pages as well. This is really great. You can do 3D views of each of these things, and I want to show really quickly in the announcers. If we take Fenmore for example, you can also preview these as well. So I think the volume might be a little low.
Oh, it's only low on our end. They can hear it.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So as you can see, you can preview some of this. And like I mentioned, the creator is a great character. Is also our default announcer when you come into the game. So he's popping up all over the place.
He definitely is. The curator is an important character in the world of Dawngate. Absolutely. All right. So could you actually show off really quickly? Would you mind showing off a shaper just in that same kind of call out way that we just did with one of the wards?
Sure. Pick one. Which one would you like?
How about the new one, Ashabel?
All right.
Oh, it didn't pop out. That's okay. We still have the... oh, that's right. It doesn't pop out for Ashabel. But we still did... And you can see that we actually have a feature that was much requested for the shapers as well. Just kind of that full rotation. You can get the all the way around for all the shapers as well. So I'm actually really excited about that. And of course, you can...
Warlord.
The Warlord Ashabel. It's wonderful looking. Hats off to our, by the way, we've added, I'm not going to call them out all individually, but because I want to give you guys a chance to actually get to meet these guys individually.
Yes.
But we've added some new animators and some new effects artists, and I don't know if we had a new concept person yet or not, but we've added a lot of artists to our team, and they have been just churning out some great work. All these animations that you see popping up in the client, you'll notice these aren't like all the default idols. These are all very action, very new, something that are designed to really showcase just the really kind of cool, awesome nature of these shapers. So hats off to those guys. And also, like you said earlier, hats off to Ian for this really great design.
Yeah, this is a great design. You know, we wanted to make this as expressive as possible. So, you know, it was important for us to have these idols so that you could really understand, you know, the personality of these shapers.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, you know, from the presentation wise, I mean, obviously you have to be very happy about this from the business side of things.
I'm so excited.
Absolutely. It's very, very, very happy. Anything else you want to cover with the collection?
Yeah, very quickly, I just wanted to show an example waypoint transaction, how you actually do that. So up here in your mini profile, there's a new plus symbol. If you click it, You will wait for a second, and then
Yep.
you have 2 steps. You'll be asked to pick a payment method type. So right now we are featuring 4 payment methods, all in US dollars: credit card, PayPal, SMS payments, and if you have any money in your EA account balance. So, and then we are featuring 5 different payment bundles, and you can see, like, the bigger the bundle, the more bonus that you get. So let's buy some on this account using credit cards. So let's say I want to buy 450 waypoints.
Okay.
It should take you to a screen, yes, where basically you will put in, this is a pre-populated credit card, but when you go in for the first time, you'll put in all your details. Now you all know that there is where Dibs lives. No.
Yes.
100 Dibs Street. No, this is not a real address. But then you can place your order, and then you should get a confirmation both on the screen and via email as well for your records.
Wonderful.
And then you can see the balance has gone up 450.
Excellent.
And that is the collection.
So that is a collection, and that is how you add waypoints to your account. But that also means something else, though.
It does. It does. Good setup.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you like that segue?
Yeah, that segue. So with the ability to purchase waypoints and all this exciting content, all this data that we've been collecting and understanding, it does mean that we are now ready for a reset. The reset will happen with our next patch that's coming out shortly. This is a full economy reset, but it is our final major reset. So
Say that one more time.
it is our final major reset of the economy. What that means is, okay, if something breaks, I might have to fiddle stuff, but barring any catastrophe, you should not be able to lose any value in your account after the next patch.
All right, I'm just going to scoot you over a little bit and then swing back up here now. So this is important, guys. Like Laura May said, it is the final major reset, meaning we are no longer going to reset your destiny. All destiny earned from here on out
Is yours to keep.
yours to keep. Everything. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And then obviously whatever you unlock is yours to keep. If, for example, I don't know, the system breaks and we have to revert back, I don't know, whatever it may be, you can never lose any of your destiny. So let's just say there's some kind of system problem and we have to, your entitlements are broken or something. We will make sure that you get all your destiny back into your destiny wallet.
Yes.
If there's any, confusion around what content you unlocked with destiny.
Okay. All right. This is very exciting. Waypoints. This is the final. We are going to be discontinuing things, but you know what? How about this? Let's go right into your presentations. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I just did a couple of slides
Okay.
just so that I could get all the points across and hopefully players know what's
Absolutely, guys.
happening.
All right, guys. So
Like I said, reset is coming in the next patch, hopefully in the next few days. So what does this mean? It means that your destiny balance is taken to 0. It means that anything that you unlocked with your destiny is also been removed. So this is primarily your loadout components and shapers. However, for your loadouts, you will still get the standard basic stats loadout that we've been providing for free. Everybody still gets that, so you have a pre-made loadout so that you're ready to come into the game and play instantly. On top of that, we're also giving Duelist and 2 power gems, sparks, so that you have something to start interacting with and getting engaged with the system. Those are free for you to get you started. And then don't forget, we still have our shapers on rotation.
okay.
The crafting currency is also set back to 0. And so that's kind of the earn side, if you like.
Okay.
However, we know a lot of players, especially in the beta so far, they've put a lot of time and energy into this, and so we wanted to give you a thank you gift. So, our thank you gift...
You should be able to just hit next. Here, let's do this.
Okay, or that.
There we go.
Yes, everybody who played a game prior to this coming patch will get 5,000 Destiny credited to their account. This is very exciting. I hope you use it wisely. You can start building out new loadouts. You can start building out new shapers, and this is yours to keep. We will not take it away from you ever.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. So everybody can use it however they want.
Yes.
If you want to buy more loadouts, which I think most people will probably do, be buying loadout pieces and sparks and stuff like that.
Sure.
Makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
So 5,000 Destiny, you just have to have played one game,
One game,
one full game,
one full game.
one full game before the next patch.
Correct.
Okay. All right. This is very exciting.
It's very
All right.
exciting. So just on to the waypoint side. So up until now, yes, it's been waypoint grants that we've been giving you, and thank you for interacting with that system. All the shapers and skins and ward skins that you've unlocked with that funny money are all going to be reset to 0 again. But like I said, and we showed earlier, waypoints are now purchasable.
Yes.
So you'll be able to top that back up and start adding to your collection. In the collection.
In the collection.
Yes. And the creator can help you decide what you need.
Wonderful.
It all ties back together. And we will stop, obviously, the giving away of free currency every week. So
Yes.
sad.
Yes.
But the funny money is all coming to an end. But that is not all. We have another thank you, and this is something that I alluded to earlier, which is a kind of reward promo, because people, like I said, have been really taking... sorry, I've missed a slide.
You did? That's
I did.
okay.
I'm sorry, I've jumped the gun because I'm so excited about the promo.
Well, let's go over this really quickly, then we'll get to the fun stuff.
Yeah, the fun stuff. So,
Okay.
just as a beginning for, credit card and PayPal, here are the purchase bundles that you can buy for waypoints, spanning from a $5 bundle to a $50 bundle. When you go into the system, like I was earlier, and do a transaction, you'll be able to see how much of the waypoints are base and how much of it is bonus. So we've tried to add more bonus. Obviously the higher bundle that you buy is a thank you for buying waypoints in our system.
Right. Well, and that's a pretty accepted standard within,
Yes.
I'd say not just like MOBA, but in free to play. So
Yes.
totally understandable. Absolutely
And
understandable.
then just to be super clear, any waypoints that you buy are yours to keep. We will never take them out of your system.
Yes.
Even if like I said, have any problems with the system where your entitlements get confused or anything, you will always have the balance of waypoints that you put in.
Okay, so really quickly, before we go to the fun stuff, I just want to recap what's getting reset with the folks at home so that we're all very clear and very much on the same page. We're going to be resetting Destiny.
Yes.
We're going to be resetting your loadouts.
Yes.
We're going to be resetting Spirit Stones.
Yes.
We're going to be resetting Sparks.
Yes.
We are going to be resetting all of your purchases made to this point.
Yes.
We will be resetting your waypoints that you have been granted.
Yes.
Everybody will be getting 5,000 Destiny
If they played a game.
if they have played a game prior to this next patch.
Yes.
All right, so that's pretty clear.
That's pretty good. One more thing that I forgot to mention with your loadouts. So we are now giving away 3 loadout pages for free.
Okay.
One of them will be pre-populated with the free loadout page of Sparks and Spirit Stones. And you will be able to populate 2 more for free, and then you can top up and purchase more up to 10.
So we're going to be adding up to 10 pages in there.
Yes.
Okay, and are those only purchasable with waypoints or purchasable with both Destiny and waypoints?
Both Destiny and Waypoints.
Wonderful. So people can earn those pages just by playing the game.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent, excellent. This is very, very good to know. Important to know, I know I've seen it a couple of times so far in the chat, we are not resetting victories at this point. So
No.
not sure if we're going to or when we're going to, if it's going to happen, but I just want you to know that is not part of what we're doing right now.
Just
So-
an economy reset.
All right, let's talk about the fun stuff.
The fun stuff now, please.
Because
Yes.
we want to say thank you to our
Yes.
players. And this isn't, by the way, guys, this is not like final beta reward. This is just our way of saying thank you for those who've been in the beta up to this point. And so thank you very much. And what shall I hit next slide?
Please.
Okay, wonderful. Here we go.
So yes, we have another thank you. All your feedback up to this point has been great, and so we have these 3 exciting ways to unlock unique wards. To be clear, these wards are only unlockable as a reward for a limited time. You cannot purchase them. So there are 3, our Participate, Play, and Purchase ward skins. So our Participate Waystone ward skin is the one that you've already seen in game that up until now you could purchase but will no longer be able to purchase. This one is if you played a game before our upcoming patch imminently, then you will receive this Waystone ward skin for free.
The Waystone.
The Waystone ward skin.
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Which is the Participate one. So on top of your 5,000 free Destiny, you also get this great Waystone ward skin.
Okay.
So that's 1.
All right.
2. So, there's so many exciting, changes happening. Dibs has already talked about Ashabel. There's a collection, everything. And we want you to get in there and play lots of games and enjoy it with us. And so we have this burning Waystone ward skin that you can earn if you play 30 games from Tuesday, tomorrow, April 8th at midday Pacific time up until April 28th at 11:59 p.m., 1 minute before midnight, also Pacific time.
Okay.
So that's April 8th to April 28th. If you play 30 games, you get the really awesome burning...
Blazing?
Blazing? Is it? Apologies.
Blazing.
Blazing.
Yes.
I'm so obsessed with the fire. Everything is just burning.
Burning. Blazing's also fire.
Yes.
But that's okay.
And those were the ones that I gave a little sneak peek as well in the collection.
Okay.
And finally, in celebration of opening up the collection and the ability to purchase waypoints, if you make a waypoint purchase of any of the waypoint bundles, so any amount that you buy, your first purchase, you will receive the golden Waystone ward skin.
It sparkles.
It sparkles so pretty like a gold nugget.
It is. It's actually really nice looking. I love what they did with these little treatments and just made them kind of unique. Like when you see them actually in game, like they will be distinct. You will be able to tell it's for something different. So, but these are all just, you know, a small way of saying thank you for those of you, especially those who have been participating in the beta up to this point. You know, we actually put a lot of thought into this, and I want you guys all to understand, like, to us, the Waystone ward skin actually represents something very special and very personal. Just kind of like our partnership and our collaboration with the community and how important that is. So hopefully you guys all really enjoy this. I know I will enjoy it. But yeah, this is very exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I hope you guys like it. You know, we're also thinking maybe of some other wonderful Waystone ward skin iterations. And if you guys like these, maybe we'll do some other events where you can unlock some other exclusives. But yeah, these are exclusives. They cannot be purchased. You can only earn them. So I hope you guys will all participate, play, and purchase, and add these to your collection.
Wonderful, wonderful. So guys, just to reiterate these, just to kind of go over this one more time so we all are on the same page again, if you would like to get the Waystone Ward, which is the original Waystone Ward that's currently in the game, all you have to have done is played a game between now and the next patch, which, as Laura May said, is imminent.
Or you've already played one.
Or you've already played a game. So if you played a game anytime between you know, the next patch and when we first launch the beta, you will get the Waystone Ward. If you play 30 games between now and 11:59 p.m. on April 28th, you will receive the blazing...
From tomorrow. Sorry.
I'm sorry. From tomorrow. Sorry, tomorrow midday, you will receive the blazing Waystone Ward skin. And then if you make a purchase of waypoints when the store comes live with the next patch, you will receive the golden Waystone.
And that's for a limited time.
Okay.
Our promise is that we will tell you when the promotional period is over for that. We'll give you at least a week's notice of when we would close that promotion, but it will be for a limited time for your first waypoint purchase.
Okay, so we've just covered a metric ton of stuff. We have covered a new Shaper, a new awesome Desecrator skin, the collection, announcer packs, the introduction of purchasing waypoints, a major economy reset, and all of this fun stuff. This is really awesome. So thank you very much, Laura May, for popping by. You want to stick around for some Q&A?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So before we do Q&A, I have an announcement actually of my own.
Ooh.
And this is very exciting, and I know some community members will be glad to finally be able to talk about this. So, wrong one. There we go. We have been talking about how we are going to PAX East for quite a while. Very exciting. It's very exciting. We've been furiously preparing for it. I think we just got our shirts delivered for it, which if that's the case, yep, those are the staff jerseys. Oh, hype! No, you cannot open it. Do not show that off. We can't show it off yet, guys. I'm sorry. So we're going to be at PAX East. This is like PAX East and PAX Prime, my absolute favorite shows in the world. I love PAX because it's a show all about the gamer. Here at Waystone, we've had this kind of like pledge to ourselves and pledge to the community that we're going to develop this game, we're going to be transparent, and we're going to talk to you guys about everything along the way. I mean, like, for example, all the stuff that we talked about as far as like, you know, our monetization model and all that stuff, our business model and all those things, like we talked about that months ago. So like none of this should be a surprise to anybody. Because, you know, we have this really great, unique partnership with the community, we work very closely with the community, we wanted to share the PAX experience with the community. And this is always, I'm just really super excited about this. I can't wait. I can't wait for this. But we've actually invited several of our community members to come and help represent the Dawngate community
Dun dun dun.
at PAX. So, joining us at PAX East this weekend in Boston, Massachusetts, we are going to have we'll go through the streamers first. The one and only Sheebs will be joining us, and of course his partner in crime in chat, Neffy, the mysterious Neffy. So if you ever wanted a chance to meet Neffy or see Neffy, PAX East, you're going to get a chance to meet her there.
Golden opportunity.
Golden opportunity. So we're super excited that Sheebs and Neffy are going to be joining us there. Also, we couldn't go to a show without... why don't we save that one for tomorrow?
Okay.
We couldn't go to a show. I mean, we definitely couldn't go to a show without bringing our favorite shirtless streamer. So Thor GLG Thor is going to be joining us at PAX East. So I can't wait to meet this guy. He is by far one of the most positive guys in the Dawngate streaming community. So really excited about that. And also, last but certainly not least, I'm guessing the chat is going to guess who the last streamer I'm going to announce is. I'm just going to wait for a second. Let's wait and see what they say. Thor, Forrest Fox. There we go. Make secret videos. This is awesome. I'm waiting. Come on, chat. You going to guess? Delay. Oh, it's that delay. It's so long. There we go. Here they come. Well, there we go. The Troot got it on the first try. That's absolutely right. Joe, the Blue Muzzy Brogno, is going to be joining us. I am super excited. We got a chance to meet Joe a couple weeks ago. Muzzy is probably like one of the most informative educational streamers out there. He's super passionate about the game, super passionate about our community, and we are very humbled that he is going to be joining us at PAX East. Super exciting. Super duper exciting.
Yeah, it was really great having him in the office the other day.
Absolutely. And I got to say, our artists loved spending time with him, too, so that was a lot of fun. So, all right, so who else is coming? Well, we have some great fan sites out there, and from the Shapers Guild, actually, Garawar is going to be joining us, so everybody come by and say hi to Jed. Although he may resemble a dwarf, he is not actually a dwarf. It's okay. The next person, actually, that we're going to talk about may resemble a giant and is actually a giant. BDNA from MOBAchampion.com is going to be joining us. That's going to be tons of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, too. So, there's one more. Wait, I got them all? That's everybody? Okay, that's everybody. I think so. Yep, so Blue Muzzy, Sheebs, Neffy, Thor, BDNA, and Garawar from the Shapers Guild. All going to be joining us, helping to represent the Dawngate community at the booth. We will be streaming live from PAX. We're going to be streaming some folks. Some of us will be streaming. They'll be streaming some of the time there. Super exciting. And yes, we are going to have a PAX exclusive skin. Well, it's not exclusive.
Well, it's not exclusive. That's what I was writing to Andy just below the screen. Can we reveal it yet?
We're not going to reveal it.
No, we're not.
But we will tell you there will be a skin, and it's going to be cool. It's actually really neat. So we'll be showing that off, I think, pretty soon.
Okay.
This week, definitely.
It's a really good skin.
It is.
I'm super excited.
It is. So, yeah.
I've been dying to release this skin for a long time, and this is the perfect skin, I think, to go with this PAX event.
I think so, too. I agree with that. All right, guys. So that's my community announcement. Super exciting. You guys can talk all you'd like about it on your streams this week now. I know they've been like, when can I talk about it? I want to tell everybody I'm going to PAX East. So, anyways, guys, there you go. Thank you so much to all of you guys who have been a part of this amazing community up to this point. We really, really appreciate all the work that you've done, that you've put into it, your time, your effort in doing things like building fan sites, streaming the game, just being amazing evangelists for our community. It's just been really, really uplifting and very humbling. So thank you very much. All right, guys. Time for some Q&A?
Question time.
All right, guys. Remember, put the Q with the colon on front of it. Q with the colon after it, in front of your question. Let us know there's a question, and we will answer your questions for you. So, Deimos 52 Shapers that we've unlocked from Endgame rewards, so from the blessing system, are those also going to be reset?
The Shapers that we... yes, so any content, any of the entitlements that you have at the moment will all be taken away, including the ones that were dropped in the blessing system, except for the the standard loadout that you get for free, plus Duelist and 2 additional power sparks.
Yep. Will there ever be a beginner AI game mode for new players to learn the game? Serious Starfish, yes. I mean, bots are definitely something that we are working on actively. There is not a timeline or a time frame on them just yet that we can share. But yes, we are working on bots. We understand that is a very important part of learning how to play Dawngate, and so we want to deliver on that for sure. Unknown 71, is the curator going to be a playable character?
Maybe.
Maybe. If Laura May has her way?
Yes.
Maybe.
Well, we're going to see how popular he is and whether you guys like him. He's already voicing the announcer of the game. So if you like him, maybe maybe.
Okay.
Never
excellent.
say never.
Do you guys plan on visiting Gamescom this summer? Dark Matter Gun, at this time we are definitely it's in serious consideration. I will say that much right now. So we have to see where we're at on the other side of PAX, but I would say we would love to be at Gamescom and meeting with our European community. So yeah. I have 3,000 waypoints. Are they going to be reset? Carlu Pidu. Yes. So just to clarify again, guys, all waypoints, all Destiny, and all purchases to this point are going to be reset. Will the pack skin be temporarily available or permanently available?
I nearly gave away the Shaper. This skin will be permanently available.
Yes. And just to clarify something, guys, it is going to be free for folks who come to PAX, basically. But if you don't go to PAX, you will have an opportunity to get it. Don't worry about that. When's ARAM? I don't know that we would do ARAM, but yeah. Is there any way to keep my waypoints? I'm very sorry. I'll be the bad guy here, Bray 14. Unfortunately, no. This is a necessary part of our beta. And, maybe you can explain, we've definitely been testing a lot of purchasing and the economy stuff. Has been very helpful. But why is it necessary for us to do this kind of final waypoint reset?
Well, as part of our testing, we actually accelerated the experience during beta, this particular part of beta, and so, that's why the numbers were a little bit funky, and you could grind through some things really fast and some things a little bit slower, and we just want to bring everybody back onto an even playing field, and we're continuing to gather data, so this is also a way for us to have clean tests as well to make sure that all our assumptions are actually correct. And we will make small modifications. I won't lie to you. There's still small changes, I'm sure, to come. But this is the last time that we will do a reset of this magnitude. Okay.
What time frame specifically does the play a game before the patch ward skin apply? Before the next patch, Secretony. So imminently. Secretony, I am 100% certain that you are safe. You have played a game. I'm pretty sure I've seen you in many of them, so you're fine.
So as long as you've played a game since we turned on beta, like how many months ago, to when we go down for the patch sometime very soon, you will receive the 5,000 Destiny plus the traditional Waystone Ward skin.
Okay. And actually, let me clarify something with you really quickly. That is only games that you queue for, not custom games, correct?
It will include custom games
as well. It does include custom games?
Any game, as long as you've completed a game.
Well, then, there you go. Custom games included. Yes. So you can go play a custom game right now, guys. Shaxor is asking a conversion question. When I get euros on my EA account, will it get the equal dollar to euro dollar price, or will it be €5 equal $5? So are we converting?
It's a good question. The honest truth is I'm not sure, but we'll check it out. And there's a forum post that we're going to launch, maybe it's already up, about how to purchase waypoints, and I will go look into that specifically and respond to that thread with an answer. Okay, so generally speaking, like my experience has been, is that there's a conversion rate. It's not usually 1-to-1 simply because there's a disparity, but I don't want to say that for sure. Yeah, I will go and check. That's a very good question. Yeah, that's a very good question. That post is not up. It'll probably be up after lunch, actually. Okay. Which is right now, but hey. Will there be an EU server? Eventually, yes, Admiral Taco, there will be an EU server. Vinta Calvert, will there be a year of beta celebration piece of content? So, Vinta, we actually did the year 0 icon, which is, we're working on the system in order to deliver that right now. So, at this point, I don't really have any plans for like a first year, 12 months of beta. We did the year 0 thing is kind of what we did. But that's a good idea, and I'll bring it up. Will there be a skin for Desecrator? Is there a Fridge Desecrator skin in the works? Guys, we see that request a lot.
What I would say is that a lot of work went into
Forge
Fire. I always say Fire Forge in my head. Forge Fire Desecrator. A lot of work went into that one, but you know what? It doesn't mean that we wouldn't be doing more skins in the future. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just speaking to that a little bit. One of the goals as well is hopefully that we can try and get one skin for every shaper, to the best of our ability. There will be a couple that have 2 skins before another shaper has 1, but we are doing our best to try and have 1 skin per shaper, and then we'll start doubling up.
Sounds great. Excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mean to cough in your ear there. Do voice packs require waypoints to buy?
They do.
Yes.
They are only unlockable with waypoints.
Okay. Will my crafting currency reset?
Yes, it resets to 0.
Okay. Will we eventually introduce other payment methods such as the PaySafe card?
Yes, it is always our goal to keep expanding the payment method roster. Right
Yes.
now we have 4 payment methods: credit card, PayPal, SMS payments, and the EA wallet balance. All the first 3 all purchasable with US dollars only. We are definitely looking to broaden our horizons, add new payment methods, add more currencies. So stay posted.
Okay. Are we going to be doing weekly sales for the Waystone currency? Meaning, will we have like weekly sales, like featured items and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's our intention for sure to offer value to our players and have content that is sometimes discounted. I don't want to commit to any particular cadence right now or reveal what will be on sale when, but we will eventually do some promotions. But right now, this is a big launch of the collection, so that's primarily what we're focused on.
Yep. All right, guys. I'm going to do one last question, and then we are going to actually cut a stream because Laura May and I do need to get some lunch at some point.
I'm gonna just fall off this chair.
Well, yeah, no, my blood sugar's going woo right now. So if I get a little loopy in a moment, what was the in the works name for the Desecrator skin? It was Crematorium.
It's Crematorium.
Crematorium Desecrator. Let me ask a real question here. Let's see here.
Well, can I jump in and answer one that I see while you find
Yeah,
another one?
go for it.
So, someone is asking, Fruitcake is asking, will Shaper cost change? And that's a very good question that I didn't really address earlier on. So, there will be changes to prices for both Destiny and Waypoint items. Like I mentioned, we kind of accelerated things during the beta so that you guys could interact with stuff quickly, and we could see whether you liked it or not. Now, we are, because this is our final big reset and we want you to be able to keep everything that you get, we have slowed down the pace of some stuff, and we've changed the prices a little bit to reflect a lot of the analysis and data that we've seen from beta so far. So prices will be changing, yes.
Okay, guys. All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. Thank you very much to Laura May for hanging out with us and talking about all of this new content. There's so much of it. It's very exciting. This is all coming your way in the next patch, which is imminent. Imminent.
Any second now.
Any day now.
Any day now.
Yes. That's as close as we can get to giving you guys a date without things being locked down. So, anyways, guys, be sure to tune in. This weekend where we're going to be at PAX. Be sure to check out Reddit and the forums for the posts around the stuff that you saw today. We will be talking about all this stuff and answering your questions there. So, until next time, guys, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.